I'm just going to leave mine logged on because I can't wait around for.
Thursday, April 28th, 2016.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dispense with the reading the minutes.
Mr. Shenigo? Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes. Okay, Lisa,
No problem.
do we need to recess into the solid waste management district?
It's a public hearing, so I think we could stay in the commissioners'
Okay.
meeting. So we're not making any decisions.
All right.
We had blocked off a half an hour, because I think last time it did take a half an hour, but we're a little less political this time around and a little easier on the solid waste plan, so I'm not expecting any outcries this time around when we go to do this.
Okay.
But I attached the timeline, which is also on our webpage, and then I attached a fact sheet, which I've been passing out instead of the executive summary of the solid waste plan. It's easier to read. It goes through each goal and states how we're going to meet those goals. The goals have changed from the last time around in the 2010 plan. There's a lot more focus on education and outreach to 5 target audiences, that being residents, K through 12, commercial businesses and institutions, industrial and public officials. So that is, those are goals number 3 and 4. And then the usual restricted wastes, household hazardous wastes. Economic incentives is a new one. That's goal number 6. And those are some of the ways, we want to reach those economic incentives. Once we get curbside recycling going, especially through contracts, we want to look at incentives as far as a pay-as-you-throw program or a recycle bank type program where their recycling cart is fitted with an RFID chip. So when it picks it up, it's weighed and it knows what address it belongs to, and then they get coupons in the mail for how much they recycle. Just kind of an incentive to recycle more. We're looking at something similar to, I heard you mention Brianne Holman, something similar to their report card and kind of piggybacking off that idea as far as once we get curbside again established in each community, take a look at how many pounds per person is being recycled in each community and kind of put a report card out on how we feel everybody's doing. And also tying that into the WARM model, which is number 7, we have to show that we're reducing greenhouse gases as well. So that's a new goal as well.
How do you pay for that, the chip thing?
The chip is, that's included when you do a curbside recycling program through a contract. You have to include that in the contract. So some of the target areas that I would be hitting would be the city of Huron. Since they've already established their program, they want to get new carts when they do the contract, when they upgrade. So when they get those carts, I'm going to make the recommendation, and I'm sure the policy committee will back me as well, that they should probably introduce those chips so that they get coupons in the mail. And those, so Republic holds the recycle bank contract, but there are other incentive programs if any other small hauler wants to do it. And so they would just include that in the contract, which I think,
Just do it.
I think some of them do have that as a free program, and I think Republic would be one of them as well.
Yeah, they do that in Cincinnati.
They're doing it in Lorain County. The city of Vermillion is on a Republic contract, and they do that as well.
Do the chips?
hmm
So, right now, where's the part that the hauler has to do free recycling?
That's in goal number 1.
Goal number 1?
Yep, and we got the infrastructure, and we finally got the paperwork back from Eastman and Smith. I'm going to host a, once I get all the plans out to all the political subdivisions, I'm going to host a haulers meeting to discuss what we had written. I don't think we're going to have too much of an outcry, maybe from Cyclone a little bit, just because they don't want to take the recycling to their competitor, but that's always been their, that's been their objective the whole time, is why they don't want to.
I talked to one of their trustees last week and that about Cyclone and their recycling issue. He was going to speak with him because he knows them.
Okay.
About yeah.
Margaretta Township and Bayview is where they're, yeah.
So their Cyclone is not offering free recycling,
Not currently.
but they're
But we're
to.
going, yeah. So we're going to have this meeting discussion probably this coming month in May, in hopes that we can get it rolling out by November. So the next, because they're on quarters, so we don't want to screw up their quarters. But once we get the quarters done,
What happens if they say no? We can't afford to do it, then what happens?
they can't be a hauler in Erie County.
So you can, that's your stick,
Mhm.
or your hammer, I should say, on the,
Correct.
because
Yeah, that was done through the provider agreements that they have to sign with us.
now they could haul to Ottawa County if they wanted to.
No, they can haul in every county but Erie County if they're not going to participate in recycling.
I thought your only hammer was that they couldn't dump in our landfill. But what if they took their truck and dumped it in another landfill?
They can't do that either. That's part of flow control. That's in the service provider agreement as well. All waste generated in Erie County has to stay in Erie County due to the public debt.
Flow control,
Yep.
got it, okay.
Okay.
So that'll put every hauler now offering free recycling.
Correct, which the two small haulers in Sandusky currently offer. Republic currently offers. It's just getting Cyclone on board.
This is all part of that agreement that we had earlier.
Correct, with Eastman and Smith.
Cyclone was there, were they not?
They were. They've been through this whole process the first time around, and we've been talking about it's coming, it's coming. So now they have 12 trucks, so they are a bigger fleet. But yeah, I do want to sit down and talk with Don Bowers about how can we make this move forward. Okay. So I put all the goals in this easier format to read so that, in the hopes that people would actually take a few moments and take a look at it. There is a SurveyMonkey survey online where the solid waste plan is online, so that after they're done taking a look at the executive summary and this fact sheet, if they can give us their public comment. We had no public comment the last planning period until, of course, after we approved the plan and people were upset. So hopefully that will help curb that. And we've been publicizing that on the radio and the newspaper, that we're in public comment period right now.
And you're gonna have like the household hazardous waste and the electronic, excuse me, the electronics, certain days for that.
We'll have the household hazardous waste collections. For as far as electronics go, Goodwill, Staples, and Best Buy are all providing those services for electronic waste during their regular business hours, and we plan on continue to promote them. It's at free and no charge except for TVs, and they take TVs up to a certain size. So we'll probably look into how big TVs are going to be a problem, and I've already started that talk with Goodwill, and I plan on having that talk with Best Buy and Staples as well.
Or are they just talking about they don't take the tube TVs anymore, they just want LEDs or plasmas or what?
They just take up to a certain size, so it's the big flat screens now that they're worried about, because the tube TVs they'll take, but you have to pay $10.
Okay,
Okay?
anything else?
Mhm.
Any questions, Lisa?
Okay.
Okay.
I have to take my stuff to Castilla for recycling.
So she was asking about the infrastructure changes, so we talked about that a little bit before the meeting started.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Lisa.
all right, thank you.
Looks like you're up now, huh?
Yeah, I think you could probably squeeze me in there.
Hey, Aaron, these screens are not working. I'm not sure what it is, but is it on? Maybe it's. Yep, it's working now. You look at it, man.
Okay, as you know, I'm sure you're aware that, Bike Week is coming soon. The dates are May 27th to June 5th. I got a letter from the promoter, as we do pretty much every year, because again, they want to use our parking garage downtown, the courthouse lawn for the flags of honor, and also our parking lot out here next to the fairgrounds for auxiliary parking after 5 PM. Well, the last,
Blacktop?
yeah, the last 5 days, I believe.
I think they're gonna do more out to the fairgrounds this year than they did last year.
Probably. That's kind of what I've been hearing. They've already asked me if I want to get those placards again for parking down in the office building. I said yes. I also found out, as like last year, got grand jury going on those last few days as well. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same. So unless you've got any issues, any other questions,
No, and I think they're gonna have that, Eddie Money's playing out there on a Saturday out to that Grand Canyon or what, the,
Mad River?
Mad River, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I think he's playing on a Friday or Saturday. That's one of those things that we sent Steve Pajali to the public hearing for.
Okay. Is that kickoff weekend, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Usually they had that in Toledo,
I know.
so it sounds like.
Especially like Eddie Money.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's what I heard on the radio.
Okay. This is a budget item. Remember when we did our budgets, there was a pretty good sized list on the facilities end. And if you recall, if you look at the bottom of that, there were, at one point, there were no numbers. We just had projects, but no quotes, no pricing.
Sure.
Type of thing. So Gary came over and provided some of the stuff that he's got now. It's not all of them, but it's a fair chunk. So we've got fourth floor carpeting is 20,000. Auditor's office carpeting about 23,000. Recorders renovations.
Where are we doing it in the auditor's office?
This whole-
Didn't we get new carpet in there when we remodeled?
No.
They just patched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Recorders renovations is 70. That's 50,600 just for the construction piece. Carpet is 16,300. Card key and paint's 2,000.
Oh, that's bars.
What was it? I'm sorry, where were you at, Pete?
If you look down there, recorders renovations is 70,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What, I didn't, the breakdown was what?
Well, I did round that up. I mean, the individual totals on the items of construction was 50,600.
What?
In other words, for a contractor to come in and tear out a wall and
How much?
50,600.
To tear that wall out?
And what other, I think there's some other alteration she wants down there as well.
No.
Is that inclusive of changing what the auditor did? Closing that hallway?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
And then her expanding internally into her office and moving it out, 'cause got that pole in there and everything?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the whole ball of wax?
You mean 5,000, not 50,000.
5,000.
Seriously.
No, it'd be 5,000 to advertise it.
Well, this is absolutely ludicrous.
Well, that's Gary's estimate, so
Yeah.
talk with him.
Well, I'm absolute no on that.
Okay.
I went through it with her, and I think I know what she wants to do, is move the cabinets. We'd leave the wall in place, we'd cut it down, we'd corner bead the existing thing, and move on. That's 5,000, I don't think 50,000, unless they're doing something that I don't know about.
They were gonna, you know how there's the hallway down there? They're gonna
Yeah.
remove that wall.
You
and
saw it
just-
off, just like we did in Rick's, put a piece of drywall and you corner beat it. All right, now what? What else?
Well,
No, she wants to
She's gotta put a new
block
front
up that
door
whole
in too.
wall, Pat.
No, she doesn't, she's
That
taking it
hallway.
down.
No,
And then
no.
put one little wall in the front.
No,
5,000.
What she told me is she wanted to block off the wall like it's on the other side, have a door for Rick's, have a door for Taxamap, and put a door in for her.
Yeah, I saw it.
And she's
And
gonna
then
move
go
her
for
office.
office
And move in
out.
her office, yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, I mean-
too much.
Let's say, Rick's was pretty close to that.
Well, Rick was more than that.
No, 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 no.
Rick spent $60,000, Pat.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did,
Well,
and that was an
if you can get,
inclusive.
if you can get it for 5,000, what she wants, and.
Well, I don't know, I
then
guess I
go
don't know
do
what
it.
she wants.
mean,
I guess
Rick-
I'll have to go down and look at it again.
Rick spent over 60, right in that,
It was close to
Slot.
that,
yeah.
between 50 and 60.
He did, I thought he did the carpet too, but then,
I thought he did the carpet too.
Yeah.
He did it raw, he redid his counters.
Well,
And, you know, and
he-
that might have been new office furniture
he got
too.
new office furniture, that's
Yeah.
why I thought he did the.
Yeah, I think Rick's wall was like under 10 to Lou Construction, wasn't that who did it?
No, Ray Schaefer.
Yeah, Lou did.
My
the-
bad, it was Ray Schaefer, yeah. We'll look up what Ray Schaefer's contract was.
Yeah.
Because in that 50,000, he bought all the furniture. Do you remember that was a
They
big
redid the
stink too?
counters too.
And the countertops.
Oh, if Pat thinks he can get it done for 5, then let's.
Well, we'll
wait
just
to see
work
what
on,
he's got.
we can work on these numbers, but that's what Gary provided me anyway.
We gotta get that security stuff done at that office building.
Yeah, that's something that's gotta be on the priority list.
Yeah, well, Gary and I did meet with the one vendor, and, I have to check with him where that, if we got that quote back from him or not.
Because I thought we'd have that done by bike week, so we'd have
Yeah.
cameras in our parking garage
Right.
at least and stuff.
Did you talk to the sheriff about these cameras?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What did he say?
he was the one that suggested it.
Oh, he told me, he says that that's real good to get a grainy photo of what already happened, but it's not gonna prevent anything. He thinks you should have security there.
oh, he wants a
No,
deputy
You
down
guys are
there.
confused what the sheriff is thinking.
No,
We
I
brought
said
that
no.
up. We discussed that.
That was his first suggestion. He probably want a deputy on each floor like the courthouse.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not realistic.
I-
This was a first step and to see how the security issue was and feeding it over to the courthouse.
Right.
But there's no way physically somebody's gonna run from the courthouse when the crime is being committed and
I
catch
don't know, they
them.
might run right into the criminals coming out the door.
There's-
Cause Long Break or whatever, he didn't catch the guy that ran out of, was it Rogers Court?
That's right. I
Eric
forgot
was
about
there?
that.
You don't have an estimate yet how much this is?
Yeah, it's right.
When we met with that vendor, he says it's probably gonna likely exceed 50,000.
I'm
We're
an
talking
absolute
about-
no on that.
We're gonna, it's
50,000.
about, I wanna say it's gonna be in excess of 20 cameras.
Yeah, well, that's not even one deputy, so.
Jail fencing is 4,500. Again, that's to do the southwest corner, so people can't walk up to the cell windows and communicate and
Yeah, okay.
sign language and. that's
How
what
do they do that?
Yeah, they, I don't know, flash their gang signs or whatever. And
Where's the fence going?
The southwest corner, it's essentially that, I believe that is the female pod.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
But isn't there a fence all the way around?
No, not in the front of the building.
Oh, in the front of the building.
They're peeling off, you've got people out there, when I went over and Ziggy took me around, showed me what he was looking at. They're peeling off actually part of the window, and so that they can get in and get a better view. He's inside and they can chat with him. And he just wants to put that fence there so you can't have people come up and actually go up to the window. Those are on the
Right.
first floor.
Yeah, because you can't do that in any of the other windows,
No,
just in that little section there.
yeah, it's right there in the front area, so.
Yeah, from the main entrance basically back to the secure gate that goes
Right.
back to the Sally Port.
You got that 34 grand to refurbish the safety, 30 grand to refurbish the
34,
safety
yeah, to
zone?
refurbish the safety zone. We had talked about that last year,
Yeah.
and that was one of the items we threw out, but,
Is that the one with the foam on it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's only one, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just one of them.
Yeah.
Why would it cost $34,000 to put new foam on it?
30.
Because there are very few contractors that do this, and they're all out of state.
Probably the one from Alabama.
I'm not sure which, there's like Alabama, I think Illinois is another one, there's just not many,
So this is like a special foam?
I guess so.
Something that these guys can't peel off.
Well, they already did peel it off.
That's
It's
why-
already
that's
peeled
why-
off.
That's why they're getting a new one. So that this was put in when the jail was built. How many years ago was that?
Long time now.
Over 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this
if you've
this
got a
is
better,
new
if you've got a
foam?
better, if you've got a better one, Pat, then, bring it up. Seems like everything that comes up here, you got a better idea, so
Yeah.
let's hear about it.
That's good. All right, I'll ask Ziggy about that, why it costs $34,000 for a foam room.
What's,
I think there's a lot more to it than just foam.
yeah.
Well, that's what's on there now.
Hmm.
So maybe there's something new that I don't know about.
These last ones are kind of new. Auditor's office and tax map counters. Sounds like he wants some new counters, primarily in tax map, and I'm not sure about the other part, but
Are those
I
the
think-
same kind of counters that they have down at the treasurer's office? I think he was looking at that at one time.
it's possible. I have a note here. I think that he could pay for that out of his REA fund, quite frankly.
I do too, it's tax map, that's real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're talking about the room when you get off the elevator straight ahead?
Yep.
Yep.
You're gonna replace the countertops that are on there, you're not adding more?
I'm not sure what his exact plans are, but I can find out.
Is he talking where Ellie sits or the
Yeah, I think so.
countertops where, that are in the tables that the people use?
Could be all of it.
Cause he's got, some of them, he's got like a countertop on the filing cabinets.
I
in the
can't
back.
say that I go in there a whole lot, but.
Yeah,
I know there is, yeah. In
You're
front of the
talking
one
back
desk,
where
which is like Ally's, yeah, it's all
Where it's too
counters.
high.
Yeah, could be,
I'd like to go down and see what he's doing for that.
okay. Next one is replace the line starters in both elevators down at the office building. What that does is, essentially right now, it's analog system. They wanna take it to digital. And, cause basically the that is, outdated. It gives us overload protection, reversal protection, eliminate noise, provides energy savings by eliminating surges.
Does it make it faster?
Probably not. It's
That
a,
is
it's
the
a
slowest
safety.
elevator
issue.
I've ever been in.
Them hydraulic elevators?
Yeah.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, Gary said that they're using a new company to do maintenance. And they came in and they said they're surprised that hasn't already failed.
Really?
Yeah.
Cause when you lose them elevators, it's like here in the courthouse, it's a mess.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's what I have.
You got second floor lobby carpet
Second floor
too.
lobby carpeting, yeah.
I was just looked at it yesterday, I didn't see what was wrong with it. Looks fine to me.
Okay.
Where, down, this floor?
No, second floor down in the office building. So in other words, we replaced all the carpet on the second floor is essentially what we're looking at. Gary said if we did it all at once, we could save a few bucks. I mean, I added up the numbers, it was $350 or something. 'Cause you got individual quotes for like auditor, recorder, say this lobby here.
Well, I mean, I looked at, the only reason I would replace the treasurer's carpet is because of the slot left from the wall. But it looked fine, I even asked her, I said, well, show me
Oh,
where
no,
it's bad.
Treasurer's paid,
treasurer's
done,
done,
they
paid
paid
for.
for that.
We're not talking about the treasurer.
You're talking
second
about the
floor.
lobby on,
Where we're taking the wall out?
yeah,
Mhm.
where the auditor and recorder's at.
Or recorder, I said the wrong thing, I meant recorder. Second floor, you're gonna take the wall out, that'll leave a slot. you can't match the carpet back. That would be a reason. But other than that, if you didn't take the wall out, the carpet's fine. There's no need to replace all this carpet. I mean, we're not running a Ritz-Carlton here, all right? This is an office building. If it's got holes in it, replace it. But other than that, I mean, she couldn't point out a plot where it was bad. I said, where's it bad? And she's looking around, I don't know, trying to find a spot. But the logic of replacing where the slot comes out, then it would have to be replaced.
Which is what they did at the auditors when they
Yeah,
did that.
which is why the carpet must have got redone at the auditors, because when you pulled the wall out,
Well, they did do
They-
some
they
carpeting.
must have
I
done the
thought they
carpeting.
did the whole carpeting
I think they
myself,
did too.
But,
How would you have replaced the hole where the wall was?
well, and
I
moved
think
all
those
the
are all
furniture.
squares.
And moved all the furniture.
I don't
Bought
think
new
those are
furniture.
squares. They weren't.
I think it was roll.
I think it was too. Well, it's easy enough to go look, but I
Yeah.
think that was newer carpet.
We can take a walk down there one day.
Okay. So at this point, we are good with, what, fourth floor carpeting? Up in the courthouse?
I didn't look at that, to be honest with you, so.
I was there last Friday, I went up to the fourth floor, but I can't honestly say I looked at the carpet.
Some of that stuff is pretty barren.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to go look at it, now that Gary's got your numbers. Okay, well,
So
this-
really, I guess I would say, what, you're okay with the jail fencing at this point?
yeah, I'm good with that. And
Yeah.
I don't care about, we're starting on the elevators, because for 5250, if it helps that, doesn't, things don't shut down all the
Yeah,
time.
it's 6,600, but,
Where, I got replaced line starters in both elevators, 5250.
You're at the wrong line.
wrong line, Tom. 5250
Oh, I'm
is the
sorry.
second floor lobby carpeting.
God damn it, I got. Okay, well, even for 6660, I'm okay.
So we'll do, investigate a little bit more on
Yeah,
these
this other
ones.
stuff, we're gonna have to take a look at, this is a lot of money.
Okay.
We can individually, if we have issues, go down and look at them, right?
We are in good shape in that fund.
Yeah, we are.
You got $980,000 in cash in it right now. And you subtract out, about 352 is, what's budgeted and encumbered.
Well, if,
It leaves about, 620 or so.
okay, but if Barb wants to do that stuff, just, and I know the estimate, Gary probably gave you plenty of room though, or we're just gonna advertise it and see what kind of real prices we get?
Yeah, well, like for Barb's at 50,000, we gotta bid it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's bid it and see where we're at,
Yeah.
realistically, and, you know? I mean, that building, her office is not been touched, it's just been put up. And I think that's the only one that hasn't been touched.
Mhm. Haven't really done much to the prosecutors except give them more space.
Well, I got some good space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Our old offices.
You know, when the county court went up there, it actually kind of changed the whole thing, but especially with the grand jury and everything else.
Mhm. True.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock. We'll take a look at this. Thanks, Pete. We'll jump in and let, Tim, are you on?
This is the second final public hearing for the Community Housing Impact Preservation Program application. And just a reminder that the CHIP program is a competitive program through the state of Ohio to help homeowners bring their houses up to code. And just a reminder of our previous success, we've been awarded over the years just a little under $5 million, averaging $527,444 for each grant. You can see this year's application, we partner with the City of Huron and City of Vermillion, which makes our total significantly higher than the average at 1.15 million. The state has incentivized our application. Each political jurisdiction gets additional $50,000 when we formed this partnership for the CHIP application. Just a reminder or review of the timelines. We did meet with the Housing Advisory Committee on April 12th. The Housing Advisory Committee kind of formulates the grant application itself. They give us guidance as to which projects they would like to see selected in this application. Of course, the second public hearing is today, and the application is due a week from tomorrow, May 6th. So the way the Housing Advisory Committee, structured the grant application, the budget for private owner rehabilitation is the single largest line item at $645,000. We propose to do 16 units, roughly around $40,000 each. The applicants must be the owner of a single-family owner-occupied structure that needs to meet the residential rehab standards, which are the standards set by the state of Ohio. The loans will be forgiven at it would be a 0% interest, forgiven, partially forgiven. I think we're going to structure it at 8% per year for 10 years, which would forgive 80% of that, and then the remainder 20% will be due upon sale. Anytime anybody liquidates their house, then we would recapture at the minimum 20%.
So over 10 years.
You forgive 8% per year for 10 years. And then again, I think I've said this 100 times, we're just trying to prohibit people from flipping a house. You know, we put $40,000 into the house, and then the next year they turn around and sell it, you know, at the expense of the taxpayer. So that's why we do, the liens are kind of a pain to recapture and keep track of. But it will allow us to extend the life of the grant, because then we have that money in our revolving loan fund then to put into other units in a similar type situation. We have the rental home repair, only going to do 2 structures this year at about $7,000 each. Total budget is $14,000. Again, we'll qualify the applicants of the tenants will be the applicants, not the landlord. And only the landlord is required to contribute 50% to the construction cost. And that will be forgiven at 50% per year for 2 years. Emergency home repair, this is where we can go in and fix a single item. The budget is $331,000. We propose to do 27 housing structures, roughly at $12,259.26 per. Within that 27 units, we anticipate doing septic repair or replacement, which can be significant. It can be a significant cost, and probably will exceed that $12,000. Again, it's a single-family, owner-occupied structure in need of assistance, and again, it's just 1 or 2 items, and that's going to be done as a grant. There will be no lien placed for these smaller single items. Tenant-based rental assistance. We're currently doing this right now with partnering with Metro Housing, and what we anticipate doing 22 units, total budget of $22,000, would be $1,000 each, and we provide first month's rent, security deposit, and utility deposit. Again, working with Metro Housing to help get those people on Section 8 into a rental unit. Then our administration is capped at 12%, but that is for this $1 million grant application. It's $138,000, so that's pretty significant.
I'm assuming most of that's gonna go to your consultant that's gonna help you run the program?
We have divvied it up. We're trying to get as much as we possibly can, yes.
Back to
Yeah,
the county.
yep, absolutely.
The-
I think that
How about Vermillion and Huron, they gotta get?
they get no admin, and they're aware of that. And it says that in the partnership agreement.
Who's running the program for you?
CT Consultants is who we're working with. We've worked with them in the past, off and on, and we've had very good success with them.
I've met that guy.
George, the guy that you met, he actually retired, so now we're working with his right-hand person, Phyllis Dunlap, and Phyllis does a great job. They're right on top of things. So just reviewing the overall budget, again, it's $1,150,000. And as I mentioned in our last public hearing, we do have a walkaway policy that prohibits us from getting into a money pit situation where we just keep dumping money into the unit. So if we go into, if our inspectors go in, they look at the unit and it's in excess of that $40,000 cap that we have, then we'll have to walk away from the unit. Again, for costs, there are no direct costs to the applicants. The only time that any money is ever recaptured is the lien, which is due upon sale for the home repair program. Again, the application's due May 6th. I think we have a,
Yeah, we got it. We'll read them all at once.
okay, all right, very good. Any other questions,
No,
input from the public?
we're good.
Thank you.
Okay. Pete, you have anything else?
Nope.
Well, we got a few minutes before we have a bid opening. We can do the resolutions now, Pat, since we've got a few minutes.
So resolution of the Board of County Commissioners for the CHIP Grant Partnership application with Ohio Development Services.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
You've got a sign here, but not for us. It says sign here, and then it says Erie County
I think in the
Assistant.
resolution, it authorizes the president of the commission to sign for it.
Actually, it says Erie County Pete Daniel is signing for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Pete signs.
I
You
signed it.
signed one, but you missed one. FYI.
I'll get that
Carolyn,
on the rebound.
Sharon.
I think Jason needs to sign one of those too.
There you go.
Thank you. Marilyn,
So,
change it down.
resolution of the board for the purpose of entering into a contract to purchase with Erie County Combined General Health District.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board authorizing the county auditor to make payment to the Erie County Treasurer.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board for the purpose of entering into agreement with MT Business Solutions.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board authorizing the county auditor to make the interfund transfer.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board authorizing the county auditor to make payment to the Erie County Treasurer.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board authorizing the county auditor to make payment to Mrs. Massey.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board entering into an amendment to the Community Housing Impact and Preservation CHIP Grant Partnership with the City of Vermillion and the Ohio Development Services Agency.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board establishing an installment schedule for 6610 Mason Road.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board entering into agreement with Harris Computer System.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board declaring certain items surplus in order to be sold at internet auction.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board entering into agreement with MT Business Solutions.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board entering into agreement with Strausser Construction.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board authorizing the auditor to make budget modifications.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board for then and now.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board for entering into amendment number 4, this agreement with EHOVE Career Center on behalf of North Coast Regional One Stop System.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board adopting the Area 7 Program 2016-17 sub-agreement.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Resolution of the board entering into a memorandum of understanding with Erie County Family and Children First Council.
Second.
Mr. Shennigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Is that it?
Hey, Pete, getting back to this thing that Gary brought up. The panic buttons at the courthouse, where are they going? You replacing the system, or are you putting in new panic buttons?
They're definitely replacing the guts of the system. Are they gonna add some more? I don't know, but I would think they would.
How about the security cameras? What is our timeline on that?
Well, Bill, if we're gonna bid that, it's gonna take a while. Somebody's gotta prepare specs, so probably talking.
Well, that's what I mean.
Late fall, by
Where
the time-
do we stand? Are we talking 2 months, 6 months, or?
Where's that at on this office building?
That would be, where's that?
I don't even have a dollar amount in it.
Under the 7?
No, we don't have a dollar amount in it. Security cameras was used at the office building and courthouse. Yeah, that's got no dollar amount on it.
You probably ought
Gary's
to
waiting.
get that. That's probably a priority, Pete. I would get that.
I know,
You know,
I know.
yeah.
Can Tim Janovich, you look at that? I mean, is that in his wheelhouse?
What's that?
Is that in Tim Janovich's wheelhouse?
What's that, does?
For the computer side of it, or what? Are you gonna
Well,
Gary
like,
do all?
with the panic buttons, yeah, Tim's gotten involved in that. Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit on that to make sure we got fiber going between the office building and the courthouse. That's how that's how it would get transmitted.
Do you want to kind of explain a little bit about this workers' comp thing that you talked about in your report? The premium?
Sure.
What was, I didn't understand it.
Okay, from what, 2007 through 2014, we were on what's called individual group retro, which means we paid a base administrative fee to BWC, and then we paid for our direct claims directly.
Were we in a
And you have
pool?
liability for 10 years.
Were we in a pool?
No, that's why
Just
that's why it
us.
was called individual.
Got it,
group
okay.
retro,
All right.
Which, by the way, did very well. I forget, I want to say she estimated that we saved about $2 million doing that over that time. But
That's
you're
a-
on the hook for that you have that
I
potential
understand that,
liability.
and we're in a group too, and
But we're in a group now.
but if you're in the workers' comp, nobody's in the workers' comp $2 million deal. You'd be a fool to be in that. You're real high risk. So you didn't save 2 million. You just not in that group. Nobody goes to straight through anymore. So now you went
Yeah.
into a pool?
Yeah, now we're with, where it's called group retro. It's a group of counties.
Mhm.
Okay. The difference is, okay, we'll pay a little higher premium, but our liability is limited, it's capped.
Your exposure is limited.
Our exposure is limited, it's capped,
At what?
and you pay a little bit more. You know, I don't think I know what that number is offhand.
250, 250,000, sound right?
I want to say it's between 2 and 250,
And before?
and I think that's per occurrence.
Yeah, I think so too. So before we had no cap? When we were
No, there was a
self-insured?
cap, I
We
believe.
bought an insurance policy to insure against it, right?
We always had a cap on that. There was, I don't
Yeah,
know what the cap was.
there are
but we
caps
had
to
a
it, and
cap.
you pick which one you want.
But that's through another policy that you buy.
No, that's what BWC program.
Through them, that's what their admin
They
fees
must
cost.
buy,
They must buy,
yeah,
okay.
they probably buy that. Right.
So our premium's gonna go up, and the reason we're doing that is because of the exposure.
Right.
How much is up per year, let's say?
I want to say probably 170,000. Now, 15 and 16 are going to be strange years because again, we were paying respectively. In other words, we paid like, well, 2015s we're going to pay in 16. But 2016, we're gonna pay in 16, and for 2017, we gotta pay prospective before the year starts. And they're giving everybody, or at least, I'm sure counties, because they're, you know, or government units that are now going to respective instead of, or going to prospective instead of respective. So we are going to have to, they're giving us 50% credit for 15s and 16s. So
Prospective means you're just gonna pay on,
it's an estimate, in other words.
exactly, versus
Then,
what they used
yeah.
to do is wait till the end and do an actual.
Right, exactly.
So by giving the 50% on 15 and 16, what's that do? That just gives you the money to pay it? Prospectively?
Essentially, what it does is it what would normally be, instead of the cost for 2 years being in 1 year, they made it essentially your cost for a year in 1 year, even though it's
Yeah.
really 2 years. That's what they're doing.
And they'll get you on third.
And the thing we still need to consider is, and I'll bring some numbers up later, probably when we go to pay the 2016 piece, we've already processed the 15. We're gonna charge all the departments about $215,000. And again, we'll owe another, you know, 215, 225, something like that this next round. Remember, we have a lot of money in reserves under that old program. And I saw our direct claims for the year, they were very good. So we've got excess money sitting there that if we wanna use that up as opposed to charging all the departments for that cost for 16, I'm recommending that's what we do.
How much do we have sitting there in reserve?
Over $1 million.
And what do you have to keep so much in reserve?
Yeah, if you remember what I used to do is I looked at what's called, you know, they had a model saying, well, if you had so many claims your first year, you'd end up with so many in 10 years. And I took a look at that and said, okay, here's what we set aside, here's what was really expected to happen. We should have some excess there, which we do. And then when we take a look at, I used like 80% of that excess and said, let's hang on to that. If there's anything left over, let's use it up, which is what we've kind of been doing the last several years.
Okay.
So your payroll is 34 million, everything. And if I'm reading this right, the premium in 15 was 214,000.
Yeah, there's a little story there.
Sounds awful cheap.
Well, yeah, that's with the 50%.
Also, so that number underneath at 418 was the real number.
That's the real number, yeah.
Got it, okay.
Yeah. And also, it
get it.
was filed with the wrong number. We're refiling it, and we'll get a refund about $5,000 or $6,000.
They generated the number?
Financed it.
That's the 229, 336 number?
Let me look at that. I don't think it shows it.
I was wondering, is that it right there? Because that's following across total premium, 229.
Let me show you what they did.
Or what?
There's your wages right there.
Yeah,
That's what they filed it on.
yeah.
They were supposed to file it on this number here.
I don't
Why?
think they did that.
Less deferred comp comes off.
We read that thing yesterday.
Okay,
So that difference there, we're gonna get
I got it.
we're gonna refile it. and get- But like I said, I think, you know, we had a really good year with the direct claims. As a matter of fact, 2007, there's only one more year to go. And I don't think we had any claims this past year, which is kind of expected. You know, I think your first 5 or 6 years, you may see activity. After that, chances are you're not gonna see any of those last, 3, 4 years. So we're sitting pretty good with that. We ought to use it up, because again, we promoted these programs to our departments that, if you come on board, we're gonna save you some money, so we need to
Yeah,
be
we
true
did
to
that.
that.
Okay. Next.
Now, we could move finance department up, but we've got a bid opening at 10:30 for the Meadows. Is this a straight bid opening, or is it one of these 268s?
Yeah, I believe it's one of those. I think it's 268.
Senate bill.
Yeah, Senate Bill 268.
Speaking of finance, I see where Melissa had her baby.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I know she
Is
she
she
went to the
in?
hospital yesterday, I knew that.
Yeah.
She told me she was going in. Good for her. Everything went all right?
As far as I know. I haven't heard. I mean, I knew she was having a girl,
Yeah.
but when the baby was born, I don't know.
It's like 5 o'clock yesterday,
Oh, really?
yeah. And she was supposed to go in today to be
Yeah, she told me
induced,
she
so
was gonna
she
go
went on her own,
Oh.
which was
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Well, I thought they were gonna do so on the 27th.
I thought it was the 28th, because she
Yeah.
was gonna take a half a day yesterday so she could go to lunch with us.
Oh,
And then she, she missed lunch.
she missed lunch, yeah.
Well, she didn't miss much.
That was pretty bad.
Oh, it was terrible. You could've went to Ryan's Steakhouse and had a better deal.
I've never been in that Ryan Steakhouse.
I've been in there twice, I think.
I
But-
think they have a golden, speaking of steakhouse, I think there's a Golden Corral
There.
supposed to,
Come in across from the mall,
yeah.
somewhere over there.
Where, Cole's place is,
Yeah.
that property. They got a Dunkin' Donuts, that's going up pretty quick. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to get some roadways in there pretty quick.
What, is that in with the gas station? That's what's going in there is Cole's gas station?
Is it,
Yeah,
is he-
that's all it is.
Yeah, it's just like the one on,
Out
Route
by,
4 and,
used to be.
Perkins Ave.
It could, you know what, you're right, yeah, they've got that.
Yeah,
I heard he was
probably-
putting a gas station in, but then I also heard a Dunkin' Donuts, so I don't know what.
Yeah, it's probably a combination.
Same one and the
building.
same.
We need a Popeye's chicken.
Good show the other day, Karen.
Thank you.
Yeah, that guy was very good.
Wasn't he?
Yeah,
Well,
fantastic.
my great nephew's here today for a career career day, and also for
Oh,
coming to work with me.
oh, okay.
Oh, that good. People already twisted that from bringing their son or daughter.
Yeah, it's everything, you know.
Bring a relative to work.
Get him out of school.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close. Jason, on the issue Friday, we all done with that now?
No, that's part of what we'll talk about later, but no, that May 6th date is still on.
If you're ready.
Ready?
Yes.
Hmm. Surprise, surprise.
Okay, this bid is for nursing services at the Meadows, using Senate Bill 268, and we have one bid today.
You want
It is from Med One Care out of Findlay, Ohio.
On the right street.
Yeah.
Their bid guarantee is present, form of a check. And that's all we have today.
Okay.
Okay. Need a motion to accept the bids? Yeah.
Make so moved.
Second.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yeah.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes. Mr. Whitman, we're ready for you if you're ready.
I think I'm ready.
Go through the end of 15 plus the first quarter. Everybody's heard of Melissa expenses, recent activities.
We were just talking about that. Everything went well?
Yeah, sounds like. I think she was thinking it would go a little bit quicker yesterday, but she only got a 12-hour day.
This is her first one?
No, it's the
No.
second one.
Oh, really?
This is her second, and she has a stepdaughter as well. We've numbered the pages to try to keep Mr. Shenigo with us.
Thank you.
The first page, first is the summary without the sunset sales tax, and we've added the, excluding the lodging tax, you know, for the sports complex, so our exception list is getting longer. Pretty much 15 good results. I think Pete had mentioned previously, at least amongst staff, the forecast for 2015 was very accurate. I don't know if there's any questions on page 1.
I'm good, you guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Second page, we kind of look at we do some analysis. On the revenue side, of course, there was the funding for the 27th pay period, and if I say it once, I'll probably say it 1,000 times this morning. The 27th pay period throws a lot of typical calculations off because it happens like every 11 years.
Yeah.
So there was that contribution to the general fund to offset that cost. There was the Chapel Creek loan repayment, $70,000. Sheriff had some
Hey, Ed,
reimbursement.
pull that microphone over by.
The sheriff had a reimbursement for, I think, the 9/11 dispatch costs he had. We closed out the public defender. Used to be a separate non-general fund account. That pretty much makes up the revenue exception for the general. Even with that said, good revenue collection year for the general fund. Couple of non-27th pay period issues. The capital murder costs were much higher in 14 and 15, so we kind of analyze those, try to adjust things back on an even keel. Facilities had some larger projects in 14, so that kind of throws comparisons off. The transfers at the end of 15, there were some additional contributions to debt and capital projects. And we all know that there was additional money for children's services in 2015. In 2014, there was the contribution from the general fund as an advance to the health insurance. So when you kind of take all these things in and out, we were up about 6%.
I'm missing the capital murder. Where's that at?
That's up to Common Pleas Court.
Oh, it's cooked in there?
Yeah.
3.9%
How much was
one-time
that
capital
down?
case.
The year before was about 250,000. Last year, about 75,000.
Okay. 250 and 75, got it.
The health insurance increase in 15, a little over $500,000. It's really not an exception, but we identify the cost. It's larger than a lot of the other expenses we have. Any questions on page 2?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Page 3, we're looking at the general fund, first quarter, 16. I don't know if there's really anything on the first page there that revenues are still doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So revenues are on pace with the budget. Budget was a 2% increase in revenues, and that's what we stayed in for the first quarter.
Mhm.
And expenses were 2% up, and we're actually 2% down.
Did you just say the budget was 2% increase?
Yeah, if you look at the middle part of that, where it's got 12-month data, budget, revenues, expenses there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you look at, that's a comparison, what we actually spent in 15 versus what the budget is, that 530,000, that's a 2% increase.
That's the 2%, okay.
Yep.
Anything else on that page?
No, sir.
The analysis, don't panic about investment income. The treasurer advised there was a investment that matured, that a paper check came in, and that kind of threw the deposit off. It should be higher than it has been. With that in, we're up about 10%. Really nothing too exciting. Again, some of the things in 15, reimbursement for the sheriff, the planning rent was a little bit different timing, and then of course last year, first quarter, Chapel Creek was in there, so.
I see where transfer and conveyance fees are still going strong, 14%.
Mm-hmm.
That's an indication of what the real estate market's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we had that thing last week or so, and I talked to some realtors there, and they're saying they're selling.
Yeah. Again, the sales tax has been rock solid, consistent through the first, well, actually 4 months. Casino tax is up a little bit, which that kind of been reversing a trend that's been down.
Yeah.
That had been shrinking for.
We're seeing some little signs here, little signs of life.
Mm-hmm. Expense side, there's a couple of timing issues. Something maybe worth noting, it's not a huge deal. There was at the Huron Municipal Court, there was an error in the billing that we caught, and so they had a credit that they owed us, and so we were adjusting that. We're all back to where we're paying for, so what we're gonna see in 16 is gonna be like a full year for that. Not a big ticket item, but it will throw those numbers off. The Board of Elections, this is their favorite year, presidential election year, so
Yeah.
they run a little bit on the hotter side. Veteran Services, I know they're really out promoting their services, and I think they're gonna probably run a little bit higher than they have in the past.
You see the corner, wow, that's really up.
Yeah, it's all in the autopsies.
Are we behind the payroll through the first quarter of
Yes.
next year?
Yeah,
That's
yes.
why you're seeing a lot of red there.
Yeah, that's,
The operating departments.
yeah, most departments, well, it's gonna probably all year kinda, although.
Yeah, with 26 versus 27.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna be there. The Children's Services, with that increase, represents about 1.6% of the 8.1% adjusted general fund increase, so it's gonna be a driving force. And we know the insurance, health insurance is running about 10% more than a year ago. So. Any questions on page 4?
No?
Where's the, I'm not seeing Children's Services that, I'm sorry.
It's down there near the bottom. It's under, it says transfers, but then there's a comment
Yeah,
right next to 24.8%.
what does that mean, transfers?
It's where we move general fund dollars to other funds, like Children's Services and public assistance. Get general fund dollars,
So
pretty much on a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
why
number of
is that
other
up 24.8%? I don't understand that.
Budgeted,
That was
For that.
taking care of the kids.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So even from last year's, we were up to 2.6 million, I want to say, total. So now it's up another 24% from last year so far this quarter.
Yeah.
Now, remember, last year, in the first quarter, we were budgeting on a much smaller amount than where we ended up. So artificially, that's gonna throw it off. You know, if you looked at last year, what we really did
Yeah.
is we gave them, it was extra 375,000.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you had calculated that in there, this would show a smaller number. Yeah.
Was it
In
375?
other words, if we divided
or
that
was
by
it-
four quarters, in other words, we paid, what, well, it's not 373, I forget the actual number. Would have been around 250,000. This year, it's what, 3-something?
Last year it was 262.5 in the first quarter, and this year it's 356.250.
There you go.
So, and what was our budget in 14? Do you have that there?
I know our budget last year ended up being like $1 million, well, in the first quarter, it was like $1,050,000. And right now, we're at
It was
$1,006,000.
900,000.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
that's,
Yeah,
yeah, like 9.7.
In 14,
yeah.
say $1 million,
Uh-huh.
then it went up to 2.6?
What do you got on 6?
You're thinking of the
numbers
total
on six?
expenses for children's services.
Yes, sir.
Because,
That's what I'm asking.
but that's not what we contribute. We don't contribute.
No, I know.
Just a partial part.
Right.
We had
I
Right
don't
now,
have-
for 16, we're budgeted to transfer $1,635,000.
we have mandated shares and we have additional funds. that
You know,
we
we're
did.
gonna do children's services in a minute here.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
I
it on
see.
page
Okay.
6.
So-
All right.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, actually, the mandated share is down just a tick, not a lot, but a little
Really?
bit less. Can't go figure.
What's that this year? I'll look when we get there.
That's been running, what, about 230?
240-ish, yeah.
240, 230.
Anything else on page 4?
Nope.
Page 5 is, you were given, this is breaking out the different exceptions so that we see just what used to be just the general fund on the far left. Of course, we still have around $1 million or so for the sunset, and then the bed tax account
Yeah.
right now is at $1 million.
How much you got in the bed tax?
At the end of 16, there was about $1.2 million still available. And at the end of the budget cycle, there was like 188,000.
Okay.
At least wasn't on paper. Now, might be in Pete's plans upstairs, but
No, it's about right.
is that all right? Okay.
Yeah, because I know what the year before it was about 250,000 is what we had not allocated, and spent a few extra bucks on a few things, so it's probably not.
Some are up, some aren't. Anything else on page 5?
I'm good on 5.
Okay. Pages 6 and 7 is the analysis for the Job and Family Services. And the Children's Services, of course, is the one at the bottom of the page.
So
I
the-
asked Deb Hare if she had anything she wanted us to know, and I think she felt, basically, with what's going on with the children is pretty much the driving force about what's happening with their budgets.
So there's your picture, 2,155,000 to 3,810,000. From 13 to 15.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, I'm good on the 6. What do we got on 7?
7's just the first quarter.
What's the last children's services? Oh, it's a quarterly analysis. Okay.
Why does the revenue go down so far? 1,006,000 to 220, 238. What happened there?
What you're looking at is, the way this has been presented in the past, you get an annual figure, and then there's 2 quarterly comparisons. So if you look at your headings, you've got a December of 15, and then we compare just the first quarter of 15 versus 16.
Okay. I got it.
Next, we're into the Meadows, page 8. Really, they had no additional comments they wanted to point out, I think.
Yeah. We're kind of.
This is up, and it's showing improvements.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
On page 10, we start the DOES departments, solid waste. Is on pages 10 and 11. Of course, page 10 is the analysis for calendar year 15. Mr. Jackson provided some footnotes on the revenues. He's noting an increased tonnage and 13 months of receipts. Did you miss a 13? Just a timing thing, I guess, on the, how things got in quicker. The other two items are pretty consistent with the previous years.
Yeah, but solid waste budget's pretty solid.
There are some, you'll see in these reports, instead of being in red or black, they're in green. Those are expenditures that were encumbered in a prior year but got paid in the recent year, so it just kind of, a lot of the projects will take more than a year. They don't get done necessarily in the year they're budgeted.
Okay.
Nothing on 10 or 11? Okay. 12 is the sewer fund. Mr. Jackson notes there's a flow increase and sewer rate increases. The tap-ins and miscellaneous revenues are down. That's item A. E2 is noting the extra pay period. In the sewer fund, less overtime, but increase in health insurance.
So why do you do, am I looking at this wrong? The Huron Sewer Rehab OWPC grant 278 on the expense side. And then OWC grant Huron Sewer Rehab 139.
The 278 is what the expense was, and then we got 50% reimbursement. And
So
we
that's
got a
cooked into there.
That's on the, for the actual.
Yeah, I see it.
But since that project was encumbered in 14, that's why it shows not as much budget.
But the bottom line is we spent, I don't know, that's not adding up right. You had an excess of 596. How did you end up with a negative? Oh, the 350 is this, I got it, my bad.
It's like the
So you
non-operating.
spent $350,000 of your 596, leaving you with a excess of 245. And you got your flows on here? Increase 2%. So the flows are up 2%.
Yeah, between 14 and 15. Build sewer flows.
Yeah. And we've got our new price from the city already, right, for 16?
Yeah.
And that's up how much?
It's 64 cents for 2016. We paid 60 cents was the estimate for 15.
Yeah.
And I think the actual was 59 cents after the reconciliation.
And now it's gonna be for 16?
It'll be 64 cents.
Okay.
Page 13 is first quarter on the sewer. The flows take some pulling information out of the reports. It's not available at this time. When we get it, we can share that update with you.
Okay.
Pete notes the rate increase between 15 and 16 at 3%. The payroll in 15. The Sandusky sewer costs there. And there are some green projects, things that were in previous budgets. Till the debt service starts hitting more heavily, things usually look pretty good in the first quarter. Anything else on 13?
No?
Next several pages, we have the combined water, we have water A and water B, all here for you.
Very nice.
Let us know if there's something we're missing or there's questions on it.
Well, in water A, let's go right to the nuts of the matter.
Page
It made
15.
$829,000. If we wouldn't have spent any stuff. Water B, if we didn't spend any stuff, lost $365,000.
Yeah. Are we putting the sales in a bit? Where's the sales going?
The bulk water sales,
Yeah.
those are still all getting water A.
Oh, okay.
How much money is that, Pete? I have not seen that breakdown yet.
Water sales,
I thought we were gonna change the sales.
We're working
Put
on
it
it.
in B.
We're working on
That's what we talked about.
So if you change that sale, it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Absolutely.
about $800,000.
$800,000, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what that means.
That's currently what the bulk water, what we sell to Bellevue and ORW.
Don't you have to take the cost, you mean you're gonna get to put $800,000 over into B?
How you put it in A?
Right now, it's currently all getting posted to A. We're discussing the right way to do it.
So how's this gonna affect A and B then? That's what I'm confused about.
We'll move revenues that we're currently posting to A, we'll post some to B.
How much is that? You're gonna move $800,000 over to B
That's
in
what we're
revenue?
trying to determine.
it. It's gonna be an allocation.
Yeah.
Some will go in each.
You don't know which, so.
And then you gotta pay for your water.
Well,
other thing-
those guys have provided some alternatives and some options to look at. I still haven't really done that thoroughly yet.
Yeah, there's
They've got
$800,000 in revenues that are basically being looked at. Should it be 50/50 or what? Right now, but it's all 100%.
Going to
It all goes into A right now.
But you're also, to be fair, you're certainly gonna look at the operating expenses in B is total of $183,913 versus A, $4,795,000. Example, total production wages for District B is $33,694. So there's only one half of a man maintaining 200 miles of pipe.
It's a multifaceted issue.
I was like, yeah, I think so.
Revenue is a big part of it, but then how the expenses are being charged.
You better move about 2 million over to B if you're gonna put the 800 in revenue over, because you can't have half a man on 200 miles of pipe.
Well, they can determine those costs.
But it was 150. Where did we get the extra 50 miles of pipe?
No, it's 200, 190, 191 exactly.
Okay, I'm good with 15,
Okay.
16.
16 is basically the fourth, or the end of 2015. And debt service does make a big impact.
Yep.
Oh, what'd you do on the water with the 2 payments for the city?
Right now, we're planning on sending a payment.
Are they in these numbers though?
The budget is, but we haven't actually cut the check yet.
No, I understand, but it's in the, cooked in?
It's in the budget.
So in other words, if I look at so far this first quarter, what you're telling me is I've got an operating excess of 461,000 in the combined districts? Uh-huh.
Yes.
You're not, and that has the first payment cooked into it?
Hasn't been paid, so no.
No, he said it was.
Cooked in the budget,
Yes, it's in the budget, it hasn't been paid yet.
but the actual
So it's not in
expenditure is
here.
not happening, but it's cooked. You know, if you're looking at the actual column, Pat,
Yes, sir?
okay, you won't, if it hasn't been paid, it won't be in there, but it is in the budget line item.
Well, it looks like we got enough money, is where my point is. If we got 461 so far,
But we were gonna split the payment.
Again, you know, you really gotta be careful when you look at sewer and water for the first half of the year, because most of their debt payments are in the second half of the year.
but so are most of their flows in the second half of the year.
Especially in the summer.
And,
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
are.
certainly
Summer
it
and
is,
tourist
but that
season.
debt is more like this. So there's a big piece at the back end.
So don't pay any attention to that, the quarterly.
Well, you could pay attention to how you did the previous year's quarter.
Yeah, and it'll show you increase in flows, things like that, if it's, you know, but there's not gonna be a big jump, yeah. Okay, what was that, 17?
That's page 17, yes.
I'm good, you guys good?
18 would be the first quarter of A. So not a whole lot of, but just we will be looking at both sides of the equation in terms of A and B.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any other questions on 18 or 19?
I'm good. But all, these allocations for what is it? Neptune meter reading system, where are we at on all of that? The project itself.
That's still really early in the game on that.
What's that, like a 2-year program?
Probably. I mean, realistically, I don't see that really getting going until next year. You know, this year we have to
That's the
bid
one,
it out
what do you
and
got,
all that.
11,000 customers?
Repair specs and all that crap.
Change 11, all those meters?
Right. The meter heads, I believe. I don't think we're changing up yet.
Yeah, the meter has to go to the leapfrog system, and digital. Okay, landfill.
Okay. Page 20 is the end of 15. I think we were giving you the information you'd like to see in terms of the tonnage at the bottom of the page. Everything was up to date through
Yep.
15.
Looks like you got a big check. You didn't get any money on the landfill gas sales, and then you must have got a check in the first quarter.
Yeah,
50,000.
We've got, we've collected all the past.
50
gas
grand, right?
sales From, all of, 15.
Yeah, I see it.
Right.
Looks like we did pretty good with that NASA dirt.
Yeah, that's helpful.
A lot more.
That about 700,000, that was,
Landfill's pretty strong. Good thing we got it. Okay, and then the last page is just the first quarter.
Just first quarter.
a lot of that just depends on how many projects you're gonna get done. A lot of projects.
Brian seems to know his business. Superintendent.
Yeah, he's got projects going up.
Yeah. If anything comes up that you need more information on, please contact us. We'll get it to you.
Need to move on getting that property.
That's what I was looking at,
That looks like that'd be
the
done.
entranceway.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right.
Okay, is there any comment in regards to the agenda items? Thanks for coming. Motion, we need a motion to go into executive session. Mr. Shenigan?
Sure.
Second.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yep.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Go back into regular session.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Mr. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.